don't forget to celebrate your shoe trees with hashtag WSG Shoe Trees for Wisconsin Shoe Guy. Thank you for joining us for our week in review. This week's blog, we're going to really look at shoes in two categories from the last week. We're going to look at emerging shoe brands, and then we'll also look at established shoe brands. Kicking us off on the emerging brands, we have Vahtia with these Austerity Brogue boots. Then we have Yosal with these gorgeous hand-welted split toes. Moving on to CNES, a pair of Goodyear welted split toes, followed by a pair of Blake-stitched Adelaides. Moving on to hand-welted split toes by Hephaestus, and 3-eye Adelaides, also from Hephaestus, Goodyear welted. Goodyear welted Liffentung Chukka boots in Utah calf. Hand-welted October 10th Adelaides. Hand-welted October 10th split toes. Goodyear welted Cru NonPareil shell cordovan chukkas. And then these beautiful Goodyear welted Chelsea boots from Bodileys. Moving on to established brands, we have these Grenson Gibsons, the Roseberry, these Meermin hand-welted boots, they're split-toe boots, the Paraboot Norwegian welted whole cut, the Zonkey boot hand-welted quarter brogue Adelaide, the Meermin hand-welted jumper boot in Horween shell cordovan. And last, our pick of the week, these beautiful Thibbet grain split-toe boots.
So what is a field boot? The traditional field boot is this. It has a stitched cap toe, and it has this type of pattern here separating the shoe portion from the boot shaft. Now in this particular example, this is unlined. So as you are wearing it, it's very comfortable. So you can see here, as we pull this out, I'll just be quick about it. This is unlined, and this happens to be shell cordovan, but it doesn't really matter the type of leather. A lot of times it's suede, but they unline the shaft to make it super comfortable. And you don't have that feeling you get when you wear a boot where it feels like your ankle is trapped. So it gives you that nice, more comfortable feeling. Now, the other kind that you have here is you have the field boot with bi-material. So again, you can have different material here. This has a hatch grain versus a smooth, also shell cordovan in this case, but it can be any kind of leather. And here they actually have a full cap toe instead of that faux cap, which is traditional on the Edward Green Galway, as well as, this is a Meermin, but Meermin, Norman Vilalta, Saint Crispins, a lot of them have just the cap like this, where it's just stitched in. That is the traditional. It's uncommon, like the Enzo Bonafé here, where it's actually a cap. So a lot of these have double soles. Many of them have leather soles. I prefer the leather. A lot of people will do them with a commando sole, but that's an option that I tend not to gravitate toward. So those are the differences here. Now you'll see this has a pull tab here. This one has the integrated tab into the back, which is common of the higher end shoes. Now this is not a jumper boot. A jumper boot is this kind here, where it's the traditional derby with a heel cap, right? And like this. Now, sometimes I've had some makers call this a Balmoral boot, but I don't consider this to be a true Balmoral because this line is not straight. And in my opinion, a Balmoral boot is always an Oxford boot, not a derby boot like this. But who am I? A lot of times the makers make up the rules as they go, and that's totally fine. Just something to keep in mind. So this is a field boot, bringing its history back to World War I, British Army type of boots that they wore there. But that is the field boot, and a common boot among high-end men's shoes.
Don't miss the unboxing videos this week. We talked about the Zonkey boot Adelaides, the hole cuts from Paraboot with these cool rubber soles, And then last but not least, these beautiful Cru NonPareil Chukka boots in shell cordovan. So this is a big week for the pipeline. It looks like almost all but 2 of the top row are all shipping this week. And then as we look at what's next, we have a really beautiful shell Centurion from Meccariello, in addition to a pair of Saint Crispins loafers.